Hello. It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown as always. I have the ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you guys doing? Abiajolo. How you doing? You guys are going to chat at this Adire.
So
really
I realized that, this our Ankara is not actually made in Nigeria.
Okay.
The only thing we have made in Nigeria locally is this Adire. So I said, okay, let me patronize my own people as I'm a Nigerian. Let me buy from before the other countries will hijack it again and start making money out of it.
And start selling to us. In fact, I want to also start Adire.
Oh.
So please, I would really like
some
supply.
No problem. Fantastic. So I'm a bit, I'm not panicking, but I'm a bit worried that some schools are still waiting till next week to close when we already have cases in Nigeria. And the truth is, I don't think all of the cases we have are captured. That's the truth. A lot of people are afraid to come out, really, if they have this. And we may likely have more cases. So I would want that schools actually, I don't know the exams you are writing if you are dead. So I told my nanny, as I was leaving the house this morning, allow the children to sleep. Nobody's going to school. The examinations, I don't care till everything blows over, I just think we should all take precautions. Most of the countries outside are on lockdown. Nothing is happening. We can't be...
Well, with Lagos State has closed the schools starting from Monday. And we have 8 cases. Of course, we don't want to wait for it to be 100 or 1,000 before we start doing the necessary measures. But I know that the government, Lagos State government, has taken some measures so far. How are you doing, Nima?
Very well. I want to shout out to a fan of your view this morning. It's her birthday, Titilayo JME.
Happy birthday, Titilayo.
Happy birthday. Sorry that I have not called back, but I've seen your messages and I wish you many more happy years. She wanted a shout out on the show. I must also shout out to the Lagos State government for responding to my call about the police extortion on my side.
Oh, really?
Of town.
What did they do?
Immediately on my way back, they had cleared the roadblock and everything has gone back to normalcy.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
Thank you. But then would also like that you look into the activities of the trucks parked on the road. I must commend Lassa again. This morning, shockingly, they were from Alakija all the way to Matu, controlling traffic. So, yes, there was parking on the road, but there was management of traffic. So, if it can be extended to Abule Ado, I think a bit of normal life will resume. Yesterday, I waited at Abule Ado in the morning after taking my kids to school. And I saw the way the truck drivers were just going crazy on Old Ojo Road, doing anyhow, and school children were trying to pass as well. So somebody should let them understand how they must comport themselves so that, they don't risk other people's lives. Yes, we need that control. We need authority there.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm worried. I'm worried about the impact on businesses. I'm worried about the fact that parties will take place this weekend, which means my customers will not go out, which means that I will not have clients, which means I'm not expecting income, and many makeup artists probably won't get as much because I was supposed to go to a party this weekend and I'm not going to go, which means that probably a lot of people will not go out. The gatherings that will get people to do, the food vendors, the drink vendors, the businesses will be impacted with this. So there's a ripple effect of all of this. So I was just woke up and I was thinking about the ripple effect. How would businesses, people live on a day-to-day basis off their everyday income? How would they survive? If businesses shut down, how would they pay salaries if they are not earning money? If they don't pay salaries, how would the staff survive if they don't get income at the end of this month that they expect? There is a lot going on here beyond just taking care of ourselves and feeling like there's a ripple effect economically, and the government must. So they said they're giving us loan. I can't access that loan. I know I can't because I know the structure of my business will not get me that loan. But I have people that I need to pay also. So can there be more education on how we can ameliorate this trickling down to every Nigerian?
In addition to that also, because I went somewhere yesterday and I was appalled to find out that somebody had just arrived from the UK and he was in the office. I mean, I wouldn't mention the place, but I know YK took responsibility. She had that social distancing where she isolated herself, being socially responsible. I went to an office and I know the person just got back from the UK and he was in the flight over the weekend and he was there in the office. Ew. Kia. I didn't even enter the office. I didn't work as if I just said, hey, he's around, no problem. I just went somewhere else, sanitized my hand and just left. And I thought it was completely irresponsible. So there's a part of the government and there's a part of individual responsibility.
We need to
so yes, we understand the issues.
There's sincerity on the part of government. So Apapa General Hospital, they are still buying gloves, Doctors are still waiting for patients to give gloves so that they can be checked.
Yeah.
They don't have hand sanitizers on the wall that she can be cleaning. That's a general hospital. First response, we have a 6-week-old baby who has been diagnosed of this condition. We've had Lassa fever on ground. We should not even be discussing sanitizers in public places where they're supposed to be responding already. I got that yesterday and I was more than disappointed. So the more we are saying we're on top of it, the less we see near
but we can beg. Individuals can donate.
Yes.
While we're waiting for the government to respond. I know someone that produces sanitizers locally and she donated it to hospitals within a locality.
We have to go on a break because we're going to talk about this stuff. We have the whole show to discuss about COVID-19 because this is all Nigerians are talking about right now. But first, let's go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll start with The Nation. Churches, mosques, schools shut in COVID-19 lockdown. Government freezes employment as 2020 budget is cut by 1.5 trillion. Ex-Rivers Governor's Orderly under probe for 100 billion naira fraud. Senate panels OK military police rejig. All marketers others back petrol price cut. 2 doctors, 159 others die of Lassa fever. JAMB releases 450,000 UTME results. Let's talk about Lassa fever for a moment because obviously everybody's talking about COVID-19, but Lassa fever obviously is still killing.
Yes, people. So 16 persons, including 2 doctors, have died in Bauchi this year. They've had 43 confirmed cases recorded since January. And the cases they are working on, 7 health workers were affected, but so far it's manageable. They are recuperating and they are stable as it is. So, but the governor of Bauchi State is saying that they are going to build isolation centers in the 3 general hospitals that they have in the state would build. So it's not been built, but they're still hoping that it would be built.
According to the Center for Disease Control, who I quoted the story, 51 new cases for this week. They said it's a drop from last week on Lassa fever. They said it's a drop from the 81 that we had. We have 51 new cases, and that has increased the deaths from 100 to 161 deaths. We've been shouting before Corona. They should please do the most important things for us.
Yeah, that's the Senate.
Yeah, so the senator has, the Senate has agreed. The panel has agreed on what the panel has recommended, which is to rejig our security system. One of the key recommendation which the Senate is calling for is the decentralization of the police command. Currently, every police issue that goes on, you need to get approval from the IG in Abuja for local issues, and they're now saying decentralize it. They also have issues. They're also saying that they need to readjust the process. The institution needs a major reorganization to bring it closer to the people, and I'm looking forward to having it implemented. I'm still, because I remember the Senate president actually said that this, for the next 6 months, that this was about January, I think February, said they're going to work really hard on this. So we're really hoping that they can get this passed soon. Moving on to The Punch. Mother, baby, 3 others test positive as cases rise to 8. American contact of Ekiti State dies. Nigerian companion test negative. Teachers' verification for accurate data, not a witch hunt, says Kwara State. NCDC records 9 Lassa fever deaths and 51 new cases. Lagos explosion, residents condemn FHA bus takeover comment. CBN announces 1.1 trillion intervention fund to boost economy. ARIC suspends flights to Ghana, Liberia, and Senegal. NNPC reduces petrol pump price to 125 naira to the litre. The FG slashes budget by 1.5 trillion, reduces benchmark to $30, and reps someone Emefiele ex-Mint bosses over 8-year unaudited accounts. Let's start with the Lagos explosion.
So the acting managing director of the Federal Housing Authority, Umaru Bansu, had said during an assessment of Abule Ado that, the federal government acquired the land from the Ojo military government, Ojo military cantonment for the trade fair market, and that they are going to take it over. They are going to take it back. And so the residents who have suffered losses started reacting, asking, wondering why the focus is on material instead of, the numbers of lives lost and, the pains that they are suffering, that they expect that government will do differently. But the Minister for Humanitarian and whatever, what's her department, ministry again, the ministry in charge of humanitarian and laws and whatever. So she was also visited. She also visited the place. Federal minister.
I'll get you the name.
So
Go ahead,
let me
please.
quickly get her designation properly. So she was saying that that the government, she was representing the president on that visit, and that she was shocked at what she saw on site. She didn't expect, seeing is believing. That beyond what she'd expect, she thought the loss was, little compared to what she's seeing, and that she commiserates with them. She's speaking on behalf of the president that they are going to do everything.
Sadia Umar
Farouk, that they are going to do everything possible to, to bring people back to the lives that they were living before the explosion happened.
All right. I wanted to talk about, the teachers' verification.
Yes,
Go ahead,
there's an ongoing physical verification happening in Kwara State, which included the SUBEP staff, local government workers, and teachers. So the Kwara State government is saying that this is actually not a witch hunt. They're trying to gather accurate data of all of the workers on the payroll of the state government so that they can, move forward from there. They are getting their BVN, their PSN, just ensuring that they get proper data.
I wanted to talk about the NNPC reducing pump price to 125 naira, and some people are happy about it, but others are saying that it might be an opportunity for us to deregulate, to remove subsidy completely, because we're already used to 145 naira. So giving us this Greek gift of I've slashed it to 125 naira is not for us. We're not interested in that gift, according to some reports. They're saying that they would rather us use this opportunity to
completely deregulate
off that subsidy.
Leave it.
Deregulate and let the market prices be the ones to determine.
Nobody is telling anyone how to sell their milk.
Yes.
Nobody is telling people how to sell their commodities. The market forces would affect it. So leave it.
We'll try to bring in an expert sometime very soon, either on Monday or Tuesday, to help us understand, because Nigerians can use this opportunity to get what we want. Because the subsidy that we pay is what's one of the major gulping of all our revenue and our funds. So this is a great opportunity since the crude has really reduced to less than $30. It's the best time to take it out. But let's move on to Daily Sun. Federal government bans flights from US, UK, 11 others, and cancels visas. FG slashes petrol price. We talked about that already. FG cuts 2020 budget by 1.5 trillion. 2023, PDP gives APC quit notice in Southwest. Let's talk about the budget cuts first.
So the Minister of Finance yesterday announced, she presented to the FEC why we should cut the budget, which has been done by 1.5 trillion, based on the drop in crude oil prices. Part of the things, not really coronavirus actually, more of the drop in crude oil prices. Yes. And the areas affected mainly would be, one, major investments that have been earmarked for the petroleum industry. So there are some petroleum investments that were supposed to be made, and they're saying since crude investment will not bring us income that we expect, then we should cut down expenditure into investments in oil sector, and also instead of employing the people that they've earmarked to employ, they are freezing the employment that was planned for 2020 as part of the ways to reduce the cost and overhead of the government.
I was going to talk about the second Niger Bridge. Actually, it was also in the papers that the Senate reassures completion of the second Niger Bridge by 2022 in February. Chairman Senate Committee Adamu Alero gave the assurance when he led members of his committee on the tour, and so we'll keep monitoring and see. Hopefully, second Niger Bridge will be ready.
Yes. So in the light of the 5 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, the federal government has cancelled already issued visas to travelers from the 13 countries that are affected by the pandemic, and they're also suspending issuing visas to those countries. Some of the countries are China, Italy, Iran, South Korea, Spain, Japan, France, Germany, Norway, US, and UK. And they said this is because those countries have over 1,000 domestic cases of COVID-19, and that's why they are doing that. Kwara State has shut down schools. NYC is being shut down. Orientation will resume later when everything blows over. Then in Katsina State, they've recorded 1 new case from someone who just came back from one of these countries. And people are appealing that somebody came through the borders from Benin, crossed in with that virus. So they are saying that they should close the land. People are agitating that the land borders should be
Moving on to Vanguard, I was going to take coronavirus in Vanguard. Coronavirus, Lagos, Ogun going into lockdown. Woman who tested negative to COVID-19 in Enugu dies. UTME, we haven't cancelled results, says JAMB. FG cuts 2020 budget by 1.5 trillion. An American dies of coronavirus in Ekiti. Driver positive on the watch. So as I said, we'll talk about coronavirus a bit later, but is there any other story you want to pick?
JAMB
Yes,
quickly.
go ahead, JAMB.
So JAMB has released another batch of 450,000 results of candidates who sat for the UTME on Tuesday. There was a rumor going on that they have cancelled the examinations and the results, but JAMB is saying that we have not cancelled it. We actually uploaded these results in our website the first time, but miscreants and fraudsters were, yes, manipulating the results to rip off the innocent candidates. So what is going to happen now with your registration number, that's your mobile number that you used for registration, you can just send a message to 55019 to get your own result.
Okay, so our final paper, The Guardian, this morning, government searches for contacts of 5 new coronavirus suspects. So if you're on that plane, it's important that you
submit yourself.
Oh, yes, it's very important. And also, you can see a picture here of empty shelves at the largest Sainsbury's stores in London. So we don't want to get to this point where people are now having this panic buying. But for now, let us be responsible and ensure that we conform to social distancing and self-isolation is really important at this time. Especially if you know somebody who might be sick, please inform the authorities. It's important. We don't want this thing to get to the point where we're talking about 1,000, 2,000 type of infected. We don't want that. Right now, we still have 8 confirmed, and we are worried there could be more, but for now, we're going to go with the number the government has given to us. Let's go on a break. When we come back, Mother's Day is this weekend, so we'll be discussing plans for Mother's Day, and later we'll continue to talk on coronavirus. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So you know how special Mother's Day is to many of us. In light of this, we have in the studio the tourism expert herself. She's the convener of Yeye Cabaret. We have with us, I think, DG, actually, former DG Tourism, yes, Nigeria, and Yeye Omotayo Omotosho, the convener of Yeye Cabaret, and Ayo Ogundipe, to tell us how they plan to treat and celebrate mothers in this beautiful day coming up on Sunday. Welcome, madam, to the show.
Thank you, Mariah.
You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YoviTVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, so in midst of COVID-19, mothers still would like to be celebrated and appreciated this weekend. I mean, I know you've been doing this for a while. So is your event still going to hold in light of the social distancing that the government has asked us to begin to implement?
Very good question, Mariah. But before I answer that, let me quickly correct something that I'm actually not the curator. Ayo is the curator, the convener. Okay. I'm the patron of the Yeye Cabaret. Okay. And as you rightly said, we've been on for about 7 years consecutively. Okay. To go straight to your question, we are not insensitive to the plight of others. As the focus is on mothers, we realize that anything that happens to our children happens to us. Yeah. And so if the government of the day, either the state or the national, I would have expected the national to also say that we should stay indoors. When I say indoors, I'm talking of churches, mosques, and all that. Let the ban go holistic for us to be able to have a concerted effort to fight this. So, because we're not insensitive to a good plight, we would not hold the event on Sunday. We wouldn't. We just took the decision early this morning because the instruction from the state government went viral last night. Yes. So as soon as I got that, I saw it on television. Some of my friends in government already sent me texts. I said, oh, wow. So I quickly called the curator and a few other members of the team to say we must be responsible. And it didn't take a second for them to say, oh, mommy, you're right. We wouldn't do that.
Nice to know that. So as a patron of these kind of event that celebrates women, what would you advise mothers to do at this time, especially in how to ensure that we find and support the government in reducing the widespread of this virus?
Very good question. First, I would advise mothers to ensure that our children stay indoors. I was watching behind the camera when my dear sister said something about, she told her nanny, don't worry the children today, let them stay indoors. And it struck me. I would have expected management of our schools, the education ministry, and when I say ministry, I'm talking of the Federal Ministry of Education. I'm not talking of the state alone. A good thing Lagos State had taken a cue. I would expect the national government to say, schools for now, stay, yeah, exactly, yes, yeah. Hold on, stay closed down for a while. It's a short time. By the time they do that, and us as mothers insist, tell our children. I went out yesterday with my son. As soon as we got back, he saw daddy having bought suya on the table, and he wanted to run to the table to take the suya. I said, no. Go wash your hands. Don't forget that. You're so years old. Yeah. We must know that, and he quickly did that. Yeah. So it is what every mother should tell their own words. Right. And beyond that, we must also realize that you want to cough or you want to sneeze. You don't need the second person to say, excuse me. You go to the restroom. Go to where people are not. Be conscious of being responsible. And when you do that, you get to see that it becomes a national consciousness.
Gradually. So I wanted, because yes, there's COVID-19 out there, but then we cannot just ignore every other thing. So I'd like to understand the idea behind the Yekabre. I want you to answer the idea behind it and why you think this is the best way to celebrate mothers.
Okay. That's to the curator.
Thank you very much for having me. Yekabre came from a personal experience, and I would say my mother, the interaction I had with her. I remember, I think, 2012 and 2013 when I went to her place and she showed me the cake she was given in church. And said, oh, look at this, we're given to celebrate Mother's Day. The same thing happened the following year. And it occurred to me like that was it for the day. Two things was the timing. This was like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. What happens after? You call it Mother's Day. There are 24 hours in a day. You've only gone halfway. The second thing was the fact that I noticed that Mother's Day is usually celebrated in churches. So it occurred to me, what about the mothers who are not Christians, who are not in church, or who are not even religious to start with? So are they not deserving to be celebrated? So that's one of the things that informs our setup at Yekabre, where it's not a religious thing. It's open to all mothers, regardless of your political affiliation, your religious inclination, etc. The other thing had to do with the content. So how do you celebrate your mom? When I ask people, what are you doing for your mom on Mother's Day? They just go, I'll call her. You know, and I'm like, okay, your mom didn't just call you when you were a kid, and she made sacrifices. What effort are you putting into this one day to appreciate her? So we came up with all this, we got a number of answers, and those things kind of informed our definition of Yekabre, an intimate evening of fine dining, shopping, theater. So anything you could possibly think of doing for your mom on Mother's Day, you will have it at Yekabre.
Fantastic. No, I mean, that's a good idea, though, because I realize that I do the same thing. I call her and I pray for her.
We are trying.
And I just feel like I should do more. So occasionally, maybe there'll be something she's been asking me for, and I'll now look at that season and just throw it in. So for me, what I planned now was, I wanted her to do health checkup. So I was thinking, I'll just tell her, I've paid for checkup, go and do like a full body check. That's a good idea. So that was what I was thinking of doing. But really, those are not celebratory.
Exactly.
You know, but this would have been like, you are celebrating, she's going to go and have fun just because she's a mother.
Exactly.
Very sweet.
That's nice.
Okay, I wanted to ask, you know, aside from, you know, celebrating mothers on Mother's Day, which is just for 24 hours, we sleep like 8 hours, so we've shortened, it, yes. What are some of the things that they get to learn when they come for that celebration? Because I know that one thing that makes mothers unique is the fact that they put others before themselves in their homes, in their marriages, wherever they find themselves. Most of them don't understand that it's okay to have a me time. So in that celebration for that day, do you have like a few talks, you know, teach them how to take care of themselves better? Is there anything like that in the package?
Yeah, excellent. This year, so the way we curated Yekabre is about the experience. So we have, we still have, since we're still planning it for another time, a pop-up mobile spa. So we have partnerships, so you have your neck and back massage. If I ask you, when last did you have a massage, you probably
She's the massage guru. She's the only, she does it for all of us, on behalf of us.
On behalf of us. So
So
we've taken the initiative, all those nice things you want to do for your mom, you know, we buy the rose, we do all those things. We have a makeup gift bag to all the mothers, so you have a makeup experience.
So for someone that wants to attend, is it special by invitation, or anybody can just show up? How is it?
Well, we try to make it open to everyone
nice.
as much as possible.
May I suggest a new thing to do? Because I was speaking to someone recently. I've always been trying to mentor her, and she thinks her mom is life has been tough on her mom, and she's taking it out on her. So she was saying we should get her to therapy, and it's impossible for all of us, as we are just planning to take her to therapy. If it was possible that she had that segment where they could talk to mothers through, maybe just like an open talk. So not necessarily therapy for those who find it repulsive.
Yeah, I'll take that. Very good suggestion. But I'm happy to let you know that it's part of what we intend doing.
Okay,
in actual fact, this year's edition is looking at mothers that get into postpartum depression after the ordeal of childbearing. Childbearing is something beautiful, but we know it's painful. And we see from research that 1 out of 5 get into postpartum depression. And they are not celebrated. They are not talked about. They are still mourning and being, how would I put it now, going through some therapy. What can we do to support them? What can we do to avoid them getting into postpartum depression? From the experience I've had, we realize that from research, most of the mothers that do go into such have not been well treated by their spouses during pregnancy. Some of them are victims of domestic violence. You get to see their husbands beating them even in pregnancy. Nigerian women say no to that.
So thank you very much for coming on the show, because we have to wrap up now, but I think what request I'd like to make is that when you're ready for the event, do let us know.
Let you know.
Let us know. Maybe you can give us about few tickets or access. I know Nima gets a lot of women, mothers who would love to come. People who have been through a lot of trauma, have been through this, and they might need the celebration. So it's been nice for Nima to extend that invitation to some of these women and invite them for the year cabaret, at least to celebrate them. So I'll definitely would like to hear from you once you're about to do the event. Thank you so much for coming.
Certainly, Mariah.
And I appreciate that you're putting a hold on it now, because in respect of our condition right now, that is something truly laudable.
Thank you.
Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation on COVID-19. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So, joining us on the show now is a life coach and a woman empowerment expert, Busola Jegede. Welcome to the show. Good to have you on. You can call us on 0708 0668 You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, so Busola is joining us to discuss life issues, one of which obviously is COVID-19. The fact that it's our reality. Many countries have gone through this. I mean, online right now, if you go on social media, different countries, people playing their piano by the balcony, mothers complaining about the fact that the kids are all around. Even Ellen DeGeneres, she's bored. So they're on total lockdown globally. But here we are just getting into that space. And everybody's a bit confused. Let me start with you, your thoughts on COVID-19. What measures should we take as people to begin to manage this situation? And how can we turn this around for our good?
I think where we're going to have a profound impact is if we take social responsibility for every one of us in our sphere of influence. For instance, the organization where I run, I've shut down. I run a faith-based ministry for women, and we meet every week, and we're about 400. Yeah, so we've shut down, and wherever you are, maybe you're running an organization, your business, because people go in public transport, they go everywhere, and you never know. This is like an invisible invasion. And the thing is, we want to avoid stigmatization, but the threat is real. So if we are not all depending on government, I was happy about the Lagos State announcement yesterday, but if we don't wait for government, wherever you are, you take responsibility. People come into your space. If they must come, let them wash their hands. Make sure you do the needful. And let us encourage people to use masks. Because I realize that around here, people are so, it's not that bad.
The masks are from China.
Well,
we should do
we just have to do what we need to do.
I wanted to ask you, being a life coach, because there's a challenge of this isolation and being alone and how that will make people feel, because we're used to interacting with other people. Now I can't hug you conveniently because you are worried about COVID-19, and if I'm shaking you, you are sanitizing your hand. As a coach, how do we find that balance before we go paranoia on everything going on and we start panicking and overreacting?
I think a lot has to do with sensitization, conversations, talking about it. Because if you don't talk about things, people will react in any way they want to react. And it's important for us not just to talk about it generally, but to talk strategically. So what happens if a member of your family picks it up? Do you have a room? Do you have a room to isolate in the house? What's your plan? What happens if your spouse is coming in from abroad? What's going to happen to the marriage, the relationship? So we have not all thought through this. So each one of us must, in our capacities as wives,
what bothers me is that
I didn't want you to bombard her, because I also want to ask you a question, because I don't want you to put her on the spot too much on this. But let me come to you, Nima.
So one area that bothers me is that, you know, the symptoms for this, the initial symptoms are the basic symptoms that we have by default with our normal default malaria in Nigeria. So an average Nigerian would go to the hospital. You'd expect that the hospital would be the first place where the implements to combat this would have been beefed up. Our government should have, you know, at least distributed all these things that we needed.
Have you been to the hospital recently?
Yes. Okay. And I was speaking with one of the doctors on the phone yesterday, Apapa General Hospital particularly, and he was like, no, those things are not on ground. I was just out of concern making the calls that, let me see how prepared are you in case we need, because yesterday when I read the 6-week-old child, my first fear was if I was raising a child, we will be on the same queue trying to get help for our children. I would expect a 6-week-old to have this. So I thought it was an old people's sickness. I would expect that, you know, to show true sincerity on the part of government is to have it everywhere, cheap for like essential commodity, like
sanitizers.
Exactly, the sanitizers, the mask, the gloves, the basic that you know that they would need.
But guys, I want us to talk about why are we asking for self-isolation? Because yesterday on the show on Wednesday, when we took the mic to the audience and asked them, what exactly do you think happens when they test your temperature? And he said to test if I have the virus. And I'm like, that's wrong information. So is it, because part of our objective on this show is to inform.
Educate,
what exactly, why are we asking people to stay home? What's the exact lockdown reason? And I mean, it would be nice to also get a call from somebody from the government to also help us understand. Because people need, if you don't understand why something is being done, you totally abuse it. So let's just help define why are we asking people to stay back home?
I think basically because it's a virus, it's not something that is seen. And it's easily transferable. So you could sneeze or you could just cough and it's in the air. And it goes through the nose or the mouth. So when you have symptoms showing that you're sick or something is wrong with you, it's advised that you stay at home so that you avoid transferring it to other people that you meet. But that's the number one reason. That's the number one reason, which is a good reason. You have to stay at home to, you know, just stay in that space till you are sure that it's not the virus.
And somebody will say, oh, me, I'm not sick, why am I staying at home?
There was a video clip I saw, I think it was being shared on social media, and I made my nanny watch it. And it's explaining the fact that what makes the case worse is that in the case of the thousands that have gotten it, many of them don't actually present symptoms, especially younger people, our age, might not present symptoms. The reason it's mortality is high in Italy is because they are older people and they present symptoms. You can be a carrier of COVID-19 and have no symptoms, but yet you can infect people that will now show symptoms. That is why you should isolate yourself. If you've been anywhere there is COVID-19, you don't need to show symptoms before you isolate yourself, because you can have it and not be sick, and yet infect somebody else and the person gets sick.
Thank you very much. And there's another, I'll come to you. There's another report I read that one of the reasons why they're asking people to stay back is so that eventually the virus would, if itself, die out. So when everybody stays home, you that you're sick, you get treated, and you then be able to fight it with your immune system. Once all of us stay back, that's why some countries are saying 14 days, 30 days. Within that time, you're able to fight the virus, and then it disappears eventually. But so when people understand why you're home, they can understand the importance of staying home. Let me come to you.
You must also understand that, you know, there are cases in Nigeria that, you know, were all reported, and they might really have just gotten cured by staying or treating themselves. The likelihood that you die is less than how many percent? 2%. So most people, some people would have even recovered from it and would never have known that they had contact with someone carrying it. The basis for saying stay away is because you might not have that same level of immunity that they have. And we don't have cleaners everywhere, wiping rails, cleaning staircases.
Like they are doing in other countries.
We don't have it. We don't have it. The reality
Let's go on a
don't.
quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to open our phone lines. We'd like to hear from Nigerians the measures you're taking concerning protecting yourself and your family from this virus. We don't want to start a panic. I mean, it's important that once you have information, that's what's the most important. And once you have information, you're empowered to take the right decisions. But let's go to the government for a second. And I know people have complained that we haven't heard our president speak to us. You know, in many countries, it is such a national issue, such that everybody is hearing. All we've seen so far is the minister saying, telling us, confirming the number of cases. We've not seen the principal himself speak to his people, like, listen, we are on top of this. Do you think that will make a difference if we see our presidents? Or do you think we're satisfied with the fact that information is getting to us? I mean,
we're not satisfied.
No. Let me come to you first. As a citizen, what do you think?
Leadership is extremely important for vision and direction. And it gives a sense of comfort for you to know that somebody is on top of it. And even if you're going to do anything by your own ability or your own self, you know that there is, the micro and the macro is important. Managing the macro is important. So we don't have any authority over certain areas like the hospital, who is going to make decisions, who is going to bring in the drugs. Even if there is a vaccine today, how do you order it? So those things are out of our hands, and it's important for us to know that our leaders they're on top of their game, that they can protect us, because that's why we voted for them.
Right. But I think we're not used to really seeing our president come out to speak when things like this are happening. You know, we are used to hearing him more when he's outside the country. Right now, he can't travel. So, but for me, what is most important is the fact that things are being done. We are seeing results. Do we have isolation centers? Do we have the test kits? Are there enough spaces in the hospitals to accommodate? And, we are getting reports. We are getting reports of the number and what they are doing and what they are asking us to do. I think we just need to see more of that. Hoping that the president will probably address us. I don't know if we're going to get that. So let's just focus on the results. Are we getting results? They have banned travelers from all those 13 countries that have, so we are seeing results. Let's focus on the results.
Okay, so now
initial slow reaction of countries like US, Iraq, and all the other European countries led to what they have, this overblown experience now that they are going through right now. I would hate that, that's where we'll be. We now are in denial of the possible spread of it. We're a very, very populated country. While Africa's most populous nation,
yes, sir.
We have already infrastructural deficits in certain areas, health, a lot of that. So those are the things the factors that we'll bring together. We don't need an international body to bring those factors together and give us a projection of the number of patients that we are likely to have. So if we look at the way we interact, businesses, marketplaces, our public buses and all that, we'll know that we have beyond these 8 confirmed cases that we have on ground. We have other cases that have not come in yet, to be detected.
Okay, let me take this call from Nelson. Go ahead, finish up.
So, and this morning, the Senate just approved that the federal government should partner with Singapore on test kits. We know we have less test kits as well. So these are...
Nelson, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please. You're live, Nelson. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry, I want to just drop in about the cases of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Hello?
Go ahead. We can hear you very clearly.
Yes. We should be thinking about our in-house system, not just the...
Ooh, so sorry about that.
So, for me, I know that, according to many reports, we remember that when China had this blown up, they quickly built hospitals, basically as concentrated isolation centers that will have bed space for people while they're getting treated. Mainly because it's influenza. You need nebulizers, you need to have oxygen pass through, you need to be kept at a particular temperature different from any other person experiencing sicknesses. I've used general hospital enough to know that we have shortage. Yes. In manpower and in physical facility. Yes. Where are the beds for people to stay in?
The normal
I'm worried that when the government is saying we are on top of it, we are putting plans in place, and shortly after the first case, we heard that the Italian was saying the hospital wasn't conducive, and this is Lagos. We have the best facility when it comes to preparation for this. So my plea is to the government to do beyond lip service, because at the end of the day, you can come and tell us, yes, we are on top of it. That doesn't mean anything. Oh, we are doing the best we can. It doesn't mean anything unless your best is saying that I have 100 beds right now. And I've gotten more nurses to volunteer. I have called all the nurses that have retired that I can still work to come in. I have supplied gloves. I have supplied nose masks. I have supplied. That is a government that's not telling me they do it. When you say I'm on top of it, we are on top of it. We are addressing public. I've listened to the address by our ministers, and I'm like, okay, so what exactly are we doing? The minister has not said that I have given Lagos, each state government, I have given them 100 test kits, or I've given them 1,000 test kits. We're not even saying that.
Protection.
So
protection for every medical expert interacting with patients.
Yeah, exactly.
Basic things. Let us know how many hospitals, how many has been distributed across our primary health care centers, how many has been distributed across. Tell us those ones so that we can use that one to calculate. Based on this, so this doctor can still touch.
There's a big danger that we have not even considered. Looking at the way we are as a people, when people realize that there's nothing really concrete on ground that is conducive, people will not, they won't trust the system, and they will not give up themselves.
Yes.
So they begin to go to the alagbo, they go to the churches, they look for alternatives, because we are a society that always looks for alternatives. Yes. People are sick, they don't go to the hospital, they go to the chemist. To take injections.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about what the government can do. I want us to bring it home now. So you are in a house, and maybe your sister came in from the UK the other day, and you did not realize, but they're home. So there's a possibility that you are in a house with somebody who has been infested. Exactly. You've called the numbers. Nobody has come so far, because I've had a few reports. I can't confirm these cases. And what can that person do right now? You continue to self-isolate for 2 weeks? Is that what you do? Or what exactly?
Yes, you have the space to self-isolate.
Some people don't even have the space. Exactly. Don't even want to face me, I face you.
Peculiarity of our houses.
Now they are in UK. The people that are coming, the ones we have now, they came from UK, they have money.
Some people borrow money to travel to UK in the first place.
We want to believe that they have money.
We have 3-bedroom flats, we have people in houses.
If you have enough room to isolate the person, fine. But there is something called, quote and unquote, herd immunity. If you make everybody immune to it, boost your immune system.
I'll come to that. Let's boost how to boost our immune system in a minute. Let me take this call from Runke. Runke has been holding forever. Runke, are you there?
Good morning.
Thanks for calling, Runke. Go ahead, please.
Please, I want to contribute.
Ooh, what's going on with our phone lines? I'm so sorry, Runke. Please try to call back, or do call her back. You're talking about boosting our immune system. Please.
Yes, boost your immune system. Make sure you take lots of vitamins, especially vitamin C, and take lots of vegetables. Lemon, boil lemon. Put lemon in water with the bark. Don't peel it. Drink it, and especially encourage the younger people, because younger people don't like taking vitamins, maybe your young children, young adults. So when we all boost our immunity, even when we contract the virus, it won't knock us down. Because eventually the danger is that a lot of people may get it. So we need to be ready for that. And begin to sensitize people within our sphere. Everybody take care of yourself. And that's the
reality. We try to manage that conversation, because the truth is important that we don't send panic out there. It's important that we also let people understand the reality, at the same time, don't panic. So what I would like us to lead this conversation with is knowing what to do if indeed you get it.
So I know that you're supposed to clean anything that the hands touch, because your hand is touching your face. So any handheld part of your house should be cleaned with the 100% alcohol, what we call methylated spirits, regularly. Then you wash your hand. You clean that, you wash your hand. If you're back from the UK and you came over this weekend, you're likely come in contact with these cases. because Nigeria, the banister, all of us are tired when we come back from the plane. And the banister, we ought to hold the banister, the rails to walk. So definitely the case study has held the banister. You coming from the UK, you've held the banister. Isolate yourself, that responsibility. And isolating means that you stay in one room, having minimal interaction with any other person outside. Only you bring your food, you wash yourself, wash your hand, and tell everybody around to wash their hands too for 2 weeks, please.
Yeah, I'd like to get more calls in, so I'd like to hear Nigerians' views on this. Let's see what you're doing and get some tweets also. Yes.
I would even say, because yesterday I was going home and I saw the vegetable and fruits market. I wanted to buy, and I told myself, you know, for the COVID-19, we hear that when it's in a hot environment, it dies off. Yeah. But when you buy the fruits and the vegetables, you don't boil them. So what do you advise to do? Rinse it with hot water. No, these are preventive measures.
Who told you it dies in hot weather? Where did you get that report from? I mean, hearing it, is it confirmed?
I don't know. Temperature.
Oh, sorry? Can we confirm that?
Yeah, at a particular temperature.
I saw different reports saying that that's not true.
So when you buy your vegetables and fruits because you want to boost your immune system, please use hot water to rinse it.
I'll take the tweet after this break. Let's go on the break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to take a few tweets to know what Nigerians are saying. Yes, Nima.
So Duko Lukoya is begging, say kindly help us plead with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, to please help us postpone the March diet. I can't believe ICANN of the status of that kind of establishment still wants to write exam. Yeah, Yankati says the publicity...
That's his problem.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yankati says the publicity in northern Nigeria is poor for the hashtag COVID-19 fight. Let our northern governors do the needful. And this is a reality. This is not ethnic. It's not tribalistic, it's nothing. Every single state in this country was waiting for Lagos State. And it's a disappointment on all those governors. Even the index case we had in Ogun State was brought to Lagos. How many of these hospitals now have their security votes being used for emergency isolation centers?
That's what we expect.
The Enugu case, we don't want to go there. But what we saw is terrible in itself.
Terrible.
Every single state in Nigeria,
we don't even know how that woman was buried.
Should be responsible.
Because many countries, they cremate the bodies. I don't even know.
But she was negative.
She was negative.
She was negative, but she died because of negligence.
According to the daughter.
We need every state governors now. No, this is beyond lip service. Everybody are looking at the Governor Sanwo-Olu. Governor Sanwo-Olu is dealing with Lagos zone. He's also dealing with Abule Ado explosion. The money that he needs, he doesn't have.
What's even more worrisome is other states in the south. I've not even heard anything from the southwest governors at all. We don't even know the situation.
The ones that are doing Amoteku today.
The ones that were able to sow Ashwebi to sign a Amoteku bill. What have they signed for COVID-19?
He here says
shortage of cut us some slack now. I don't like this. I don't like this. Please, I don't like this. Take it easy. We only have 8 cases.
Mariah, calm down. They mentioned that
they were in Ibadan for 2 weeks.
8 confirmed.
One of them was in Ibadan for 2 weeks.
Please.
So what is your government
sometimes
doing?
we need to be patriotic. Sometimes we need to trust our government.
No. This is beyond patriotism. See, what we see, we must call out the authorities because they have the means to change.
That's our job in this table.
Money to change. You have the means to do it. This war, according to Bill Gates,
the Lagos
this is beyond war and warfare. This one, Boko Haram self, they have gone into isolation.
Yes. He says shortage of COVID-19 test kits is a worldwide problem. This is a new disease and nobody's prepared for it. We are going to have to accept that only those who are sick will be tested. But yes, we can beef up on the available to sanitary items. So I want to say that the disease did not take permission to come. Nobody was prepared for it. Now it has landed and is a pandemic all over. What we expect now is for people to stand up and start doing what is necessary. Those other states should not be waiting for Lagos because Lagos is overwhelmed as it is. Yes. I want to hear like Delta states, like Anambra State saying that, okay,
we built hospitals. We built 13% derivative.
No, even if they don't build immediately, because I don't know how long it will take them to build. Even if they don't build, they should, take out some sections of the hospital, buildings that are not being used. Exactly. And provide isolation centers.
Let us bring it home. And I like us. I'm saying that now we're in the house. Now I'd like to start with you. We are home. Nobody in our house has COVID-19. And we've been asked to stay back. What are the best ways to overcome the boredom? What are the things we can do as a family? Because maybe some people are not going to work, some people are not going to school, the kids are home now. What advice can we give to parents out there on how to make best use of this time at home?
Yes, it's a time for bonding. It's a time for resolving issues. It's a time for learning.
Reading.
And, you know, typically, maybe some people just jump out of the house because of certain issues, but it may be a time for reality check in certain families. And it's a time for us to look inwards, because sometimes, every time we want to fly, but sometimes some things keep you down so that you dig deep. So maybe it's a time for some women to clean their homes. You may be a high flyer, you're a career person, and there are certain aspects you've not really had time to pay attention to.
Right.
Check your children's things. You may even discover some things in their lives at this time. Bond with your husband, if you have one, and
Don't get pregnant, huh? You can't handle population crisis.
I believe it's a time for us also to learn, because it's a time when many of us don't give time for learning. So if you can read a book, read, but essentially, even some people can't pay attention. A lot of people have reading deficient, yeah, they can't concentrate. Watch videos that can educate you. Go on Udemy, you know, buy a course that can advance your career or your business. So it's a time for us to invest in ourselves. And we would always, it's just like you're having a retreat. Many people don't know the importance of retreats. So when you have that time, you can retrospect and look inwards and find out, let me improve in this area.
Not sleeping and watching TV.
Add that to your strengths. Because many of us have strengths in certain areas, but if we're careful enough, we'll find out areas where we don't have strengths. So it's a time for us to build up on those areas.
Very good. I think that we should also drink a lot of lemon. Many people know, because we know that lime and lemon high in vitamin C.
Say it, Agbo.
Queen.
Those days, our mothers used to do the pots, lemongrass tea, lots of lime into it,
drink it,
thing like that inside.
because whatever the virus meets in your body is very, very important. Most people that they say are susceptible to dying from this are those that already have pre-existing conditions. So if you can boost your immune system, you are stronger for it, whether COVID comes or COVID doesn't come. Drinking vitamin C will not kill you; it will make you stronger.
Protect your older ones.
Would
is there
not kill you.
Vitamin C?
No.
Well, I don't know. It lasts in your body for like 48 hours, so you're supposed to keep drinking things that will give you vitamin C.
Let's be careful about older members of the family because keep them away and be careful about who
your
is
grandmas, mothers, and all that.
Pay them attention and then restrict their movement. My parents already. No going out. Right on. And then the pot of tea. That ago is already ready. It's brewing.
Mom was quoting scriptures.
Mummies because our mummies Monday morning service, Tuesday afternoon service, Wednesday clinical meeting, clinical vigil. Please, stay in your house. You see for now, stay home because it is you that are more susceptible to this thing.
50 members of the congregation for Juma service. I know my dad, nothing in this world.
Maybe among the 50.
So it's not just, okay, so we're talking about staying at home, right?
Yes.
And some of our schools are still open and writing examinations. What do we do about
well, let's wait for them to decide because the government, Lagos State government today has made, as I said it by 23rd. Now, other schools and other states, we've not really heard yet. So let's wait for them to announce. For now, some private schools have taken the initiative to stop school from some private schools, but let's not make it a national thing yet until we hear from SUBEB or any other body that handles public schools.
One thing we haven't seen, they're just talking about religious organizations. How about getting on the buses? Nothing has been said about that and it is not just religious gatherings that gather a lot of people. How about people having parties? Weddings? Nothing has been said about social gatherings.
This weekend, what are they going to do?
I'm not going. Maybe I have a wedding
social gatherings.
Less than 50 people. They should call only the families of the bride, the groom, and they should do their wedding. Full stop.
Quiet wedding, very
okay. So they can do the wedding in batches. No. So there'll be an Ikoyi community, Ikorodu community. You are doing the wedding. You
don't need that.
I'm even saying
this is Lagos State, and see, I come from a big family. Imagine I was getting married this weekend. We'll do the Saleko. We'll do the one for Ikorodu area. We'll do the one for
How do you control the people?
Everybody will come in. We just 50-50 batches. We now put the caterers. When you can look, you're partying away. It's me. I'm eating. Oh, you're laughing.
You party.
Oh my God! It is in our DNA. It is in our DNA to party in Lagos State. Please.
I had an event. I called my madam, cancelled the event, and she called and said, they have not been following up. So I said, good. That was for this Saturday because me, I'm not leaving my house for any reason.
Are you serious?
So I have an event too.
You have an event. So this guy, if you're getting married this weekend, let us know what your plans are. You know, we'd really, really like to know. Tweet to us and let us know what you're planning to do.
You just slash the price of the food, all the costs you not paid.
They already bought Ashwebi already.
I have the dress I wanted to wear this weekend already hanging. And I'm looking at it and my husband is saying, are you not going to the party again? It was a sarcastic question. I'm not going.
I don't know if you saw something about Rwanda, how at the bus stations they were washing their hands.
We don't have anything.
We don't have anything like that.
Will give you something.
Even the long buses, what's the population of the people inside every bus?
BRT buses can implement it.
Yes,
those are the things we want Lagos State to look into in addition to the good things they're already doing.
Lagos is trying.
And what of the markets?
Don't go there.
That they're going to, because me, I need to go to the market to go and buy now. I want to go and stock up my house.
Yes,
but which market? Is it Okearin you want to go to? Okearin,
because there's no lockdown.
There's no lockdown.
Discretion.
So how do we
wash our sanitizers, wash your hand sanitizers, wash your hand.
So wait, you enter the market now, what do? You don't just do like this.
Because I want to buy meat.
No, you cover your entire body with cloth. Okay. Like wear like a long sleeve.
Okay. You not do
long sleeve and then
the mask.
Wear the mask.
Join us and wear buka.
Wear buka. Lima, we will join you. We will join you.
The items can give you the.
No, you can't. No, you can't. It does not. Yes, you wash.
Okay. So you can go to the market and buy meat. Okay. Let's not send panic out there, guys. Let us be careful. You can live your normal lives. Just be careful. Wash your hands. Have your masks if you need.
If you're going into the bus, put on the mask.
Don't put your hands on your face.
Keep your kids at home.
Be your brother's keepers. There are people that cannot afford to stock up. Their everyday income is what feeds them. And if anything gets worse, they won't be able to feed themselves. So those that can afford to feed, please don't throw the food away. Just pack it and give somebody. There's someone that will probably need that food that you're throwing away.
This is not the time to waste food. Those of you that claim not to have appetite, please, this is not the time to waste food.
And claim they cannot eat second-day soup. I beg, you freeze it and you will warm it.
Pour water it on concussion rice.
I know Busola came here to discuss being 40 and fabulous. We want to bring you back to talk about that because, you know, this COVID-19 just took over our conversation.
We need to discuss
and it's important that because Nigerians are scared, many people are panicking, and it's important to let them know that information is power. Once you have the right information, you'll be okay. And the mistakes the West made, we don't need to make those mistakes because they're having in the thousands because they didn't respond quickly. We have an opportunity to respond quick, and that's why the government is trying to say, kids stay at home. And the objective of staying at home, again, let's reiterate it, is so that for your own sake, it doesn't spread. And eventually, if it doesn't spread, eventually it dies out itself. So that is important that we know that. So we stay home. And if you are going to go and visit a family that came back from the UK, because now UK, they come from? So far. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those flights that came in those days. I know a few people have been responsible. YK has been very responsible. She's been in her house. Must applaud her. She's staying home. Tonya Cole sends a message that he's self-isolating. There are a few people that have self-isolated. Those are responsible citizens.
And some people went to the office. Please go back.
Others have gone to the office. If you know yourself, please carry yourself back to your house and lock yourself.
Driver from the airport.
Taxi driver.
You have helped somebody to get home. Please be honest for your own sake and for your relatives as well.
Isolate yourself.
Help yourself, and either you come out for testing or you isolate yourself. If your contact person has been declared confirmed to have it, don't hide. Come outside and let us help you and help yourself as well. I must thank Busola for being so informed on this.
Thank you very much. Any more tweets, please? Let's take it before we round up. Let's take a few more tweets and calls. We're having issues with our phone calls today. I do apologize.
So sorry.
We got Kayode from the UK.
Says if the World Health Organization says alcohol-based liquids can reduce coronavirus spread, is it right to encourage drinking of alcohol at this time to prevent coronavirus?
Okay, Ashikwa James says vaccines are being tested for COVID-19, so we should be hopeful while doing the needful. Andrew also says, in order to reduce panic, if say 10 people are infected today, the government should be able to tell us how many people have become immune and nothing has happened to them.
We've had some good news from China. There were some reports going around that China has actually treated
the last emergency hospital. That means they don't have any
enough cases.
No, they don't have enough cases, and there's nobody on the sick bed. You know, so
that's good news.
But the approach was really swift.
And at China, you call them now. Technology.
Please keep on praying and watch.
And continue to use your Psalm 91.
Yes.
Very important. Yes, even though we're not saying it's only Psalm 91 that's going to help you. be safe, but at the same time, you must recite Psalm 91 morning and night before you sleep.
My mom
Abi, Nima.
yesterday. Okay,
Yes, White Lion says if WHO says alcohol-based liquids can reduce, okay, you've
Oh, that's the one that we should be drinking.
Is it right for us to encourage drinking?
My mom called me
Drinking
yesterday and reminded me
that
Psalm 91. Please read the morning, afternoon.
nothing by shall any means hurt us. We are protected under the shadow of the Almighty. So please, even Muslims too can read it, Psalm 91.
Muslims have been really out there as well.
Which one are you guys reading?
We have Bismillah, Leslie, Aduruma, Ismail. We have a lot. Let me not
have surahs that you're reading.
Yes. No, that's
So
basic,
lean on
there
your
are daily
faith.
prayers actually.
Yes.
Where you seek refuge in the Creator for you, for everything that you do. So
Okay.
daily prayers, but then in Islam, one of the best level of faith also is keeping hygiene. We are supposed to wash ourselves 5 times daily to even to be able to relate with our God. So increase washing. Wash hands and wash everything.
Let me take this call from Paris. Good morning, Mike, I believe.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
I just bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
my dear sisters, for what you're doing. I've been watching. We are a big fan of the program. Myself and my wife, and we're always connecting.
Thank you, Mike.
What was just to say concerning this virus going on now is that, in spite of the fact that the cases in Nigeria is not yet escalated, everybody must take a precautionary measure. Because here in France now, we are all at home. We are told not to go out except you are going for a special purpose. So it's just a measure. We don't know exactly where it's coming from. So I think my advice is that, because
Mike,
if you
how are you guys working? You're not working again anymore?
No, we're going. We go to work, but you must have a paper to show that you're going to work. That is to say that the government has put certain papers online. You have to print it, fill it with your name and your place of work, and then you'll be controlled by the police to show it out. And that's the only way you can pass, because we have the police, more than 100,000 police on the street.
Wow.
And so, and the supermarkets, you can go to the supermarket and go to the pharmacy, only, and otherwise all other shops are closed. Everything is closed.
So you order, because I was hearing that there's a panic buying in the US, people are just empty shelves. Is that happening in France?
Not really. Okay. What I think here, what is happening here now is that everybody is just afraid.
Okay.
And so everybody is just afraid, and because nobody wants to die too early.
Thank you so much, Mike. Let me let you go. But please do remember to read Psalm 91 to protect you.
A little trouble before we go. So all these are our religious leaders. Nobody saw the vision that this kind of thing will happen.
It's
just a question.
The one that is funny is what happened yesterday. There was a PDP rally yesterday.
Imagine.
Very crowded event.
Irresponsibility.
I was more than disappointed in Governor Makinwa. When I saw him addressing Makinde, I was like, this governor that we are saying, bravo governor. How can you people be thinking of a rally at this time?
At this time.
They are playing politics 2023.
Did you even notice? Did you notice that we didn't touch any political story in the papers? Because you're going to come up, because we want to leave. So please leave politics. Oshomole, no Oshomole, APC or no PDP. Please leave your matter. Let us protect ourselves first. I have to let you go, but let me let you round up. Final comments on your end, because we'll bring you back for the 40+ conversation.
I wanted to say something about what you said. How come no religious leaders saw it?
Please.
If you go into the scriptures, it's already been predicted that in the last days there will be pestilences, plagues. That's the Christian faith. So the word has already said it. What is playing out right now? So even if nobody says it, nobody sees it presently. It's been prophesied in the scriptures.
Yes. So if you read your Bible by yourself, you will see it. You do not read the Bible.
See us.
Please, whatever.
Should have seen it.
Anyways, that's all we can take on the show. We apologize. We had to make this show about COVID-19. It was important because when Nigerians wake up in the morning and hear this news of, they shut down schools, what's happening, somebody died in Ekiti, somebody died in Enugu, people are getting scared. So it was important that we put things in proper perspective so you have the right information. So in a bid to protect ourselves from COVID-19, please follow the basic hygiene rules by, again, wash your hands frequently. I would advise go around with the soap, not sanitizer, even soap. Okay. When you get you enter some toilets that don't have soaps, so have your own soap with you. and wash. Maintain social distance. If you're talking to somebody, have about 3 or 5 feet away. You don't have to stay so close.
So
talk to me, greet.
Just swallow for the person.
Yes, greet the person like this. 5 feet, stay away. So just in case the person sneezes, it's not come on you. So, and then if you have a fever, cough, gently, sit in your house. If you have difficulty breathing, seek medical care quickly. I know Lagos State is 767. You can call 112. Nationally, I think it's 8,000 corona. 08,000 corona. Those are the numbers to call. If you feel fever, you're coughing, you're having issues breathing, you might have the virus. Self-isolate and call the numbers so that they can reach you quickly. Because there's only so much the government can do. We have the responsibility also to protect ourselves. May God be with us all.
Amen. Amen.
Psalm 91, morning and night to add. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.